So you did.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
Man. You're going to see a familiar face today across the way. What's different about this version of Priester than maybe when he left the organization?
Yeah, just maybe add in different pitch in there with the cutter, but still pretty same repertoire. He's pitching with confidence, and really, obviously tonight want to beat him, but really like Q and happy to see him having success, and hopefully we score 10 tonight. But it's the hard thing in the sport that when trading a guy that you like and that is a big prospect for you, we need the bats, and to be able to get York and add his bat to the organization was big.
Yeah, there's a little intrigue to it that you have York in the lineup against Priester. Is that intentional, or you just want to get him some time at second base? Or?
Yeah, and just get him in the line. Yeah, we just want to get him in there as much as we can. Good opportunities against the lefties, but also trying to find ways to get him in there against right-handers as well. And get him time at second base too.
Get Nick some time at short.
And get Nick some time at short. Triolo some time at third base, and find ways to, like we talked about before. It's gonna be fluid, trying to find ways to get everybody in and get them the experience and get their bats in the lineup.
Why Nick at short? Was that for Nick at short, or was it for maybe York at second? Can you give me a little more into that?
So York, it's to get York in at second.
Okay.
And then Nick has played some short last year, a little bit this year, and Triolo, so kept Nick second and short, and keeps Triolo short and third, as opposed to bouncing Nick over to third, and then he's playing three, wanting to keep him up the middle with Triolo's experience at third base.
Nick could play third in a pinch, I suppose.
In a pinch, yeah.
Okay, but you would never want to explore that, really, Gonzalez at third?
Maybe down the road. He's taking ground balls at short throughout the year, just to keep his feet moving. It felt like more comfortable over there right now.
You guys come in, at least under your tenure, you guys have had a lot of success against some of the better teams in the MLB at home. I mean, the Brewers are also up there as well. What do you think's been the, ingredients for success against some of the better teams at home this season?
I just love the way that we're playing right now. And I think that we've shown that. I was talking a little bit earlier about, I thought the one series that was really big was the series against Detroit, coming off All-Star break, got swept by the White Sox, which is tough to go through, coming off the break and, expecting more in that, and just the way that the guys bounced back against a really good Tigers team, and talking through that offensive approach and the commitment to it. And I think we saw that with Flaherty and Mize, and I think that was the start of, really diving into that commitment to the approach and the way that the offense has started to get legs, if you will, in that approach, and finding ways to play more of a team first caliber offense. And I think that yesterday was really good. I mean, when you talk about the approach off of a guy like Blake Snell, the at-bats that we had, the way that we ran the bases, I mean, the one inning where Triolo ends up scoring, Nick goes first to third, and Reynolds follows him in, and now we got second and third in a situation where, the guy on second probably scores, but the other guy on a base hit to left field, maybe might not go. And for us to end up second and third in that situation, then Brian Reynolds, it looked like a delay steal. The way that he ended up taking second base on that ball in the dirt was unbelievable, and how he read that.
When you talked about that last night, you said that's Pirates baseball. What do you want the identity of this team to be under your leadership, with you as the manager? What's Pirates baseball got to look like for you to be a winning club?
That aggressive, being aggressive, and being aggressive in the right situations without being afraid of failing. We need to understand the situation beforehand, understand the score, the inning, everything that goes into it, understand who the outfielders are, how they throw, and then go play the game. Find a way to, and it's not always going to be perfect. We're going to get thrown out. There's going to be times that we try to steal and we get caught. But how do we do it in the right way to be aggressive and put pressure on the defense to stop us, basically? Because,
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Where have you found the buy-in? Like, where have you seen the team maybe change the way they're looking at that and buy into that approach? Is there a series or a time, like a month, that you've seen that it's really something that's clicked for them?
Well, I thought that the team first offensive identity started with Detroit. and building that. I think from a base running perspective, you know, I feel like it's just continued to build on that offensive team first approach. That was the first time it was really evident to me, was that series with Detroit after a tough series against the White Sox, and then to build on that team first offensive identity with that team first base running type mentality, and Brian leads in that. I mean, he is super prepared, always anticipating, knows the scores. You know, Triolo has been great at the top, and you don't have to be fast to do it. I mean, I don't even think we talked about it a lot. Henry Davis scoring from first the other day on the Triolo double was, I think, epitomized that as well. I mean, that ball didn't get all the way to the wall, I don't think, and he scored easy. He didn't have to slide, and that is like that's the mindset. So you don't have to be fast to be a good base runner. How do you be a good teammate and be prepared and run the bases like that on a consistent basis?
You talked about bouncing back. You used that word. I feel like you guys have had a lot of those bounce back moments where something ugly would happen over the course of a week or a series, and then you guys respond with something good. Where does that come from? Because a lot of teams in this situation, you know, something bad like that could happen. It could just be a reason to lay down and kind of go through the motions.
I think it comes from the mindset that the guys have, that they're showing every single day that they show up, of the work that goes on in the cage, out on the field. There's intentionality to it. You know, they're not just showing up to go through the motions, and no, they're trying to get better every day, which is really cool to see, and individually trying to get better, but also collectively trying to get better in that, what we were talking about with that team first mentality. The pitching, I mean, it's not easy when you're a young guy coming up, and you know, Ashcraft came up in the bullpen, then he goes to the rotation and has gone back and forth. Carmen has done the same thing. Burroughs has done the same thing. You know, when you see the attitude and the mindset that they're taking on that side, and really building, you know, that it's about the team and it's about winning, which is the foundation of what we're talking about, is that team first mentality, whether you're a position player buying into that offensive approach and commitment to a plan, whether you're a pitcher in the bullpen starting, you know, floating back and forth in between. I think that the Dodgers series showed, like, it's a lot of fun to win. And when you have a bunch of guys that buy into that team first mentality, and then you know, go out there and have the attitude to go dominate whatever it is that they're asked to do, that was a lot of fun.
Who drives that mentality?
Well, shoot, the players do. I mean, when you look at Tommy Pham and the way that he goes about it, it's McCutchen, Pham, Reynolds, Paul. I mean, just that mentality of it's conversations amongst the guys that happen on a consistent basis, reinforced by the staff, that this is the way to go.
Have you noticed that happening more, those conversations, as the season has gone on, or has it maybe always been there and now the results are flowing?
I don't know. I guess I think that you know, really, I think that with the young guys, that be easy for them to, you know, maybe complain about, oh, I should be a starter, I should be in the bullpen. They haven't. They've bought into it. I mean, Burroughs just went 2 innings up in Boston, only had 3 days off, and came back and, you know, went 3 innings against the Dodgers and got out of a first and third, 1 out with Freddie Freeman. Like, that's not easy to do when you haven't really come out of the pen that often. Like that, it's really impressive, just the way that they've taken to that.
How much is communication important in that situation? To let guys know why you're doing it? Because I know it's a little different than it used to be. Well, because the manager told you, people want explanations now.
Yeah.
How important is that for you to sit guys down and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. Here's why we're going to do it.
Very important. You know, and at the end of the day, number one, it's about them individually, and secondly, it's about the team. And finding ways to, with our young guys, there are innings limits too, and how we're trying to take care of them and put them in positions to help them be successful and help the team win, and they've done a great job of it. You know, when you're looking at Ashcraft, I think last year was 73 innings, and he's already at 10. I think he's at 103. You know, and he's going to pitch all the way to the end of the season. How do we manage that? How do we put him in the best situation and continue to push forward and to win baseball games?
From your observation, what's different in that clubhouse now compared to at the start of the season in April, aside from the faces?
Oh man, I think it might be that, like, guys are buying into that commitment to the approach, commitment to each other, and really diving into themselves getting better and helping the team win.
Why do you think it wasn't there in April?
I think it's just something that continues to build.
How do you explain the difference between your home record and your away record? It's become a very difficult team to play at home, but it's a completely different team on the road.
You know it was coming.
Yeah, well,
Right.
yeah, I wish I knew, and it's something that I've been waiting for somebody to ask.
Yeah, I mean, you
You
know
know?
the sample size.
It's like the elephant in the room, and
Yeah.
it's something that is mind blowing when you sit there and you look at it, because we try to talk about things all the time on what is it, why is it, what can we do different on the road? Is there something we're doing different at home than we do on the road? Do our guys just feel better about being at PNC Park? Is there something on the road that caught? I don't know. I would say that I feel like we have played better on the road lately. I don't know what that means. I don't have any data to back that up, and maybe that's just going into St. Louis and Boston, and because the one before that was maybe not as good with Milwaukee and Chicago, and I thought we played really well. After that Milwaukee series, I thought we played well in Chicago, and I thought in general we played well in Chicago. I think we lost 4 or 5 one-run games and 1 2-run. Like, it wasn't like we went into Wrigley and got blown out. They were close games, and it's like, how do we find a way to win those close games?
I was wondering if some of it's that this is a club that's built for this ballpark to some degree. But you don't have a ton of left-hand bats out there. That plays in this park. Just wondering, like, do you feel like that maybe that's part of it, is that the team was built to thrive in this park?
Because if I don't know what building for a ballpark would really look like. You know, and maybe to your point, like, building for a ballpark here is left-handed power. I don't know. It's really hard to find that, and it's not like I feel like sometimes, even if you try to build something like that, it's not always ideal. Like, how do we put the best team together with different things? I don't know. I don't know I wish I knew, and I wish I could change it on the spot, but just continuing to work on it, continuing to challenge the guys in different ways on the road, and switch things up to try to find something. I thought last road trip was better, and hopefully we can continue that going forward.
So, copycat league, a lot of teams do certain things well. What specifically do the Brewers do you think that maybe sets them apart? Like, every team has their little thing, but you're always watching other clubs to say, hey, can we get a piece of this? Can we get a piece of that? When you look at Milwaukee, what would you say? Yeah, I want to do what they're doing.
They compete really well. They battle at the plate. There are tough outs, and they play really good defense, which makes them really tough. When you talk about the way that they're able to foul pitches off and work counts, and find a way to wear pitchers down, and then they run. They're aggressive on the bases too.
I wanted to double back to what Noah asked about the resiliency, and you have like a real down and then a real up. A lot of that's kind of culture that builds the clubhouse and the organization. How much of that comes from a manager building the culture, or is it all player driven?
I feel like it's player driven, just because when you sit there and when guys are pushing that in there, the way that they go about it, we can have conversations. Ultimately, it comes from the players and how they continue to spread that and hold each other accountable to getting better and finding ways to do that. Because if you don't have the buy-in in the clubhouse, you're not going to be able to build it and spread it.
And you mentioned Pham being central to that, and you kind of lit up when we're quick to give him credit. Obviously, his situation is what it is with his contract. Maybe it's a better question for Ben, but it seems like you'd advocate for him back here
I love
next
Tommy.
year.
And I think that when you look at what he's been able to do this year, with him and Koch leading in there, and Brian and Paul and Mitch, what stands out to me with Tommy in particular is that he was down and out. Like he was discarded. We had given up. Like there were things that were going, and he came back up off the mat fighting, and that's the spirit that you're looking for. That's the fight. That's that blue collar mentality that Pittsburghers have, not giving up and continuing to grind and fight. And he's showing that this year. Of like he hasn't changed his work as a person, anything, going through all of it from when he was down and not hitting and to now. He's still the same guy, still doing everything the same way and continuing to fight and grind, and it's been really impressive.
And with his condition, is that something that just technically, I know this is more like a rule thing, can you go on the IL for that, and can you like kind of pack it in? I'm just thinking of like a veteran, my vision is what it is, I can shut it down, take my money, go home, and then.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't either, but he never used it as an excuse. He just continued to fight on, which is really, really impressive.
Some veterans, right? They're watching the service time clock, or they're already
sure.
there in their career, and they can just say, "All right, I'm good," and then go drift away on their boat.
Yeah,
Which has happened
Yeah,
before.
I don't know.
Which has happened before here, as you probably know.
I'm not sure, but that's not Tommy.
Right.
Yeah, you happy to have Kyle back in the bullpen?
Yeah, good to have Kyle back. Thanks to I don't know if you announced yet, but option Sanders back to AAA, which is a tough one. But you can only have 14 pitchers, and tough part of the business side of the game